All right, so now we have a piece of information that tells us that this call has script or not. What now we can do is literally add a few columns in order to do something with that kind of data. These two calls do not have any transcript. Perhaps we missed the call, or perhaps there was no transcript generated, and we need to do a follow-up call. So let's add these two columns, call again and agent ID. I will just put true in these cases. The agent ID will be the agent ID from our ElevenLabs. I have created another one, I cloned it. The only thing here is like you would need to call them and congratulate them that they have been selected and they will receive an email soon. So your role is Samantha, your email size, and would like to something like that, so that it can call people and then say like, thank you so much for applying and blah, blah, blah. You are selected and let's go. So now this AI agent will be used for this purpose. The difference is that now we are going to build a bulk call feature. So we're going to trigger it with a click for now, just to make it simple. Later on, we'll change it into an API. We're going to pick all those particular sheets that have from here, from this one, that have a column called call again. And the value is a Boolean true, like this. If I execute now this step, you will see that I have 2 items in here. That means I can initiate 2 phone calls right here. But what I can do is like literally all of this space that you see here can be the same thing as I had before from there, like from the workflow that I had before, the call workflow. So let me quickly add this in the split view, the call workflow. So right from here onwards, everything is the same. Like literally this call can be the same. The only difference is that in this case, the data is coming from a form. In this case, the data is coming back from a Google Sheet. So the best practice, we have 2 ways to go. One way is that we take all of these ones and then turn them into a sub workflow. And then that sub workflow can be used in both places, like in both cases. Like literally from this button or from this menu item, you can create a sub workflow of all of these ones. One comes from the form, goes to that sub workflow, you pass all of that information to this sub workflow. And in this case, we are going to use the same sub workflow and literally use it in here. But in this particular case, I prefer it to be an endpoint because I want to turn this into an API so that later on when I do the vibe coding session, I can call the same API from my Next.js app and then already have this thing available. So I'm going to copy all of that information and then I will create a new workflow here. And this workflow will have a webhook API. This will have a post. I will paste now all of the things that I have here, and this will be connected in this case in here. Now, I already have the payload available with me somewhere in this postman. I'm going to quickly go to a new postman, make it as a post in the body raw JSON. For now, I'm going to just pass something, and I'll change it later on. So I have this running, send it. Now the workflow was executed, you can see here, and it has like literally the and here it has the information that we are looking for, the body, this one. Now this has to be exactly the information that we need for this body, like literally all of these fields needs to be there. So we're gonna pass exactly this piece of information in our postman, which will then turn into the workflow on the other side, on the bulk call workflow. All right, so the full name of this call we're going to initiate is Emil Sire. The phone number. Okay, so now if I now one more time initiate this workflow and send the request, it initiated, but it got stuck here because it doesn't know this, and also could not initiate the call because the call needs some new mapping based on this data that is sent here in this case. So we're gonna quickly do this mapping and clean it up. So the to phone number is gonna come from this phone number that's coming from the API. The full name will be changed to this one, and so on and so forth. I will just do the copy from here. Oh, indeed, it's a different naming convention, so let's just do the drag and drop. So that's again phone number. And this is LinkedIn. Email address. Then the remarks. All right. So now we have pretty much all of this wired up correctly. Let's double check if on the Git transcript we have anything that should come from the other conversation IDs. No, I think this is all good. Now if I execute the workflow, it's in the listening mode, and quickly send this request from there, it should initiate exactly what happened, and I should receive a phone call, which works exactly as I expected. So now my endpoint here is correctly done. So this is, let's call it call endpoint or call API. This is basically, I created a call API, and I know what it is expecting, and then take the entire curl from this one, and then go and take the call feature, this one. I'm going to just leave it there so that we can come back to it for reference reasons. I'm going to duplicate this, and I'm going to call workflow with API. And I'm going to remove all of this section because I moved it into an API section. And then in here, I'm going to use the HTTP request, import from curl, import the entire thing here. And now, since I have this contact form, I can replace all of this information from here like before. So now I have a very simple contact form that has one thing to do. Once the contact form comes here, it calls an API. I don't need to refill this form because I already have that form pinned. I'll just execute this to double check if this is running. Because the API is not running yet, therefore it's not working. So I will just go in the call API. I'll turn it on as an active one. And from the webhook, I will take the production URL and then use that one in the other workflow. So call workflow with API will have this endpoint, but this will be the endpoint or the URL of the production. Save it. Now, if I execute this, it will work and I should receive the phone call anytime. And there we go. I received the phone call.
Hey, Emil Sayer. I'm Samantha.
So now what we have done is we created a reusable piece of code here. So I'm going to copy the same thing here and come to the bulk call, that basically pulled all of those two items that have like true in it. And then I will paste it here and connect these two. What it will do is for as many number of calls that I want to initiate, it will call this one time for that. I will change the mapping in here because now this mapping does not exist. It's a different mapping in here. So I need to add the phone number. I'm not sure if this will work because it doesn't have like this plus sign in front of it. Maybe we need to, it's just something that Google Sheets remove it or add it because of the formula thingy. Anyway, so full name will go here. Phone number will go from here. Apparently it's the same. Yep, I think it should work. Let's initiate it. I should receive 2 phone calls. There we go. I received 1 phone call. And the other
Emil
one.
Sayer. I'm Samantha, Emil's AI agent.
So, and the other one went into missed calls. So the way that I will see that if it worked is I go to the call API, and then I go to executions, and then you can see there are 2 calls happening here literally at the same time, which both of them were very, very close to each other. That means the execution worked. What's exactly this error coming, where exactly this error coming from is another thing that we can check it out in just a minute. There is something that we need to see what was the error for. But the actual call initiation and all of these nodes, they were successful. There is now a new error here, which we'll see how to debug it. That is something that we can do in the next one, but all I want to show in this video was that once you have like a workflow, you can either create a sub workflow from that or turn it into an API and then call it between the workflows just as an API. See you in the next video where we will debug that error we found in the call API.